Hey, brightened up? You're in the right place. Welcome to the Hashtag Positivity Podcast.
We're on, boys.
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning into the podcast. Welcome back to another episode. Don pointed out earlier we are up to number 7 of the season 2. I guess we call it season 2 since you joined
Awesome. I can't
on
believe
the desk and
I can't believe this is number 7 already. It's crazy.
Don on the comfy chair. Yeah, I know, it's flying by.
Wow.
So that's 7 weeks.
Yeah. Well,
That's
great.
almost 2 months.
That's
Do
great
the math.
If we
Yeah.
do one a week, and this is our 7th, that would be 7 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, we're on a roll. How you guys doing this week?
Things are good. Got through the weekend, had a nice weekend, and back to work today with the kids. So, yeah, so far so good. How about you? Gearing up for the holiday season?
Yeah, getting to it. It's starting to feel, that the bite in the air is coming. It's starting to get cloudy, look a little bit more like snow every day.
Snow every day, yeah.
Which, I don't know. How do you guys feel about snow? You a snow guy or no?
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either.
No.
I kind of hate it, to be honest with you.
I don't mind. I don't mind the cold weather at all. I'll take it cold. I prefer it hot, very hot.
Some like it hot.
Some like it hot. Boom, 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 no, no. But I cannot stand the snow.
Yeah, I'm the same.
All it does is snow for me now at this point just requires more work.
Yeah, it's an inconvenience.
Yeah, I mean we don't have a skiing family, a snowboarding family, anything like that. So
No, I don't mind driving in the snow.
how do you drive that car in the snow?
I don't drive that car in the snow.
Oh,
I usually get I say usually. Last year I had a winter car.
Okay.
But it broke down, so I need a new winter car. But I really don't mind driving in the snow. It's never been a problem. I mean,
Would you ever rent? If you knew a storm was coming, would you rent for a few days or no?
it depends. If I really needed to go somewhere, I could borrow a vehicle from somebody or get a ride. Like I've gotten rides to work in the past. When last year my car broke down just before the end of winter, so there was a couple storms that came through where I had to borrow
How
a
does a
vehicle.
car like that break down?
No, my winter vehicle broke down.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a PT Cruiser, 2011.
terrible.
Actually, it was
Good
older
year.
than that, I think.
It was a good year.
It was a good year.
It was the year they had the engine in it.
Yeah, not a very big one. It had a lot of acorns in the engine too. Actually, it almost burned. It almost burned up.
Do you like those cars, Donnie? Oh my God!
no.
they're terrible.
I don't think anybody likes it. I'll tell you though, you see the one with the wood panel on the side?
Even that's the worst one.
That's pimping. No, that's
Did
great.
you have that one?
No, I had a silver one. It was nice.
No, they're not nice.
It wasn't nice.
There's nothing.
It smelled. I had exhaust fumes in the car. It didn't go very fast, which you don't need to do in the winter anyways, but just not a car that I get a kick out of driving.
I don't
But-
think anybody gets a
No.
kick out of driving those cars.
But it did the trick. I really don't care, Back to my point, I don't mind driving in the snow. I know you have a truck and you have a car, but it's not a big deal to me. I've been driving in the snow since I started driving because
But you
wanted to go
haven't driven-
places.
But you haven't driven that car in the snow.
Correct. I won't drive that one in the snow.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
No.
That gets garaged, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe
we
I'll
got?
just drive the lawnmower all winter.
Oh, that'd be
That'll
awesome.
work.
I could put
Put a
some chains on the tires,
snowsuit on and-
a plow.
On the front.
Awesome.
Yeah, that'd be a blast.
What do we got on tap tonight, brother?
Well, I think let's just get into the holiday spirit a little bit. I mean, there's
Absolutely.
a whole bunch of stuff going on. I saw some pretty inspiring stories come through the news, so I think we'll touch on those. But let's just. I figure we'll just go over some of the stuff that might bring back some memories, traditions, things like that.
Cool.
So, to start that off, do you guys have your decorations up yet?
We do. We've actually had them up for a couple weeks now. We got our tree the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So we spent the whole day doing the tree in the living room, and my wife did the outside lights. And so, yeah, we are definitely in the Christmas spirit. We got
Real tree or fake tree?
real.
Nice. Cut it down. You guys go cut it down, or you just pick one
In
up?
years past, we've
Yep.
gone and cut it down. This year we went and
Bless you.
picked one up from a local farm in our area. Fits great. The kids love it, and we let the kids pick out the tree every year.
Nice. Don, how about you? Real tree, fake tree?
We go the real tree. When I was a kid, we always had a real tree as well. And for years, my parents threatened getting the going with the fake tree, and we're like, no, we can't do the fake tree. Nobody does fake trees. Everybody does real trees. So as we've grown as a family, the older I get, the more I want a fake tree.
Absolutely. Because you do all the work.
You see the value in them now.
Yeah.
I got buddies who literally pick the fake tree up out of the stand, bring it to their basement, lean it against the wall, fully decorated.
That's what I need.
And then when the Christmas season comes back around, they just go downstairs, take the plastic off of it, walk it back upstairs, and put it back in. Add a couple new ornaments.
I actually have one in the basement. It's about, I don't know, 2 feet tall. I was going to put it on the table, but then you wouldn't have seen us, which actually maybe they would have appreciated. But it's
maybe for next week.
The branches fold out. It's got lights built into it. You plug it in, you're ready to go.
It's perfect.
I'm the only one here all the time, and I'm half the time I'm not here. So
Donnie, quick
it works
story,
for me.
which you will appreciate, and I cannot mention his name, but I won't have to because you'll know it right away. A guy that we've known a long, long time. He took his son out in the woods on Saturday. So instead of going to buy a tree, took his son into the woods, found the tree from last year, brought it back. Now the tree is clearly, the leaves are dead. There's barely anything left on it. Brought it back into the house to save the cost of a tree.
That's a fire hazard.
Yeah.
Brought it into the house. It's in the stand, decorated for
like
Christmas.
all brown, needles falling off.
His rationale was, why would we go buy another tree when the tree is... So I know you know exactly who I'm talking about.
That's an interesting way to celebrate Christmas with a
Can we
Even
pitch in
more
and
dead
get
tree.
get him a tree?
Absolutely
Let's-
not. No, you don't know him. No. I wouldn't spend a dime to buy him and a broken ornament. No, absolutely not. Is that awful or what?
I can't even imagine that there's any needles left on the thing.
The thing is awful. I'll show you guys a picture of it when we're done.
Yeah. Wow, that's a whole nother level.
Lift me up here, Jason. What do we got going on?
All right. So, carrying on. Did you guys see this story in the news about the police officer who adopted the baby that he found with the addicted mother? Don, did you see this?
I did not see it. I saw as I was scrolling, but I didn't stop to read it. So I kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I heard the story just from you guys before we went on the air, but I did not see it.
So, basically, this police officer in Albuquerque, his name is Ryan Hollets, I believe. I apologize if I'm pronouncing it.
Holets,
Yep.
Albuquerque, New Mexico Police Department.
He showed up to a call at a convenience store, and while he was there, spotted two folks off to the side doing some drugs, and the woman was pregnant. He tried to talk her out of it, said, hey, this is going to ruin your baby's life if the baby even survives, and decided right there and then that he was going to offer to adopt that baby. So the woman, struggling addict, which is something that I think we should talk about in a future episode.
Sure.
I know that you know some people.
Absolutely.
I've got some stories that I'd like to share.
Absolutely.
But
it's always a way out.
yeah, he decided he was going to adopt the baby. The mother continued on with the pregnancy. The baby survived, and this police officer, I can't recall if he has already finished the adoption process or is going through it. But yeah, he's taking this baby as his own, and is going to adopt it and raise it.
Amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
I mean,
You talk about selfless service, and in this climate that we live in today, the bad rap that I think a lot of times is driven by the media as well, that highlights police officers, firemen, in not the most ideal situations. We just need more stories like this because they're out there. And, you talk about a guy who just through his duties alone could have simply done his job, and that would have been enough, which would have been to do whatever he needed to do with the woman and the man that were using drugs or in possession of drugs, but instead led with love, let his heart be his guide, and I would assume his faith to some degree, and is now going to give a kid a chance that kid otherwise might not have had. So pretty awesome story. To piggyback on that, there was a little girl, there was a police officer in another another part of the country. It was a little girl who had a lemonade stand, and the police officer stopped while he was on patrol, and he bought some lemonade from the girl, and he was asking her, why she was selling the lemonade, what she was saving her money for. And she said she really wanted an iPad. And the police officer asked the girl how much money she had saved so far, and the girl told the cop how much money she had saved, but went on to tell the police officer that she had to give a lot of it away because she and her mom were driving, and her mom had no money for gas, and so the girl used her lemonade money to fill her mom's gas tank.
Outstanding.
And so the police officer was so just taken back by that. This girl was 9 years old, had so much respect for her work ethic. And so he got together with some folks at a local technology store, and they ended up buying her a brand new iPad, and he brought it to her, the next time she had her lemonade stand opened up. So
that's really cool.
There's every day working class people going out every day and doing what they can to change the lives of other people. So
yep.
I think it's worth highlighting.
And how many of them do we never even hear about? So many stories.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Most of them.
This such a small percentage that get attention like that. But yeah, unbelievable
and
stuff.
The good news for people like that is the people that genuinely do it for those reasons, they're not doing it for attention. They're doing it because they believe in their heart it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
And they know that they have the chance to change somebody else's life because of it, which is just an unbelievable gift. It's awesome.
Yep. I love seeing those stories come through because we really don't see stuff like that in the news as often as we should. So I know they're not doing it for the accolades, but I love when, bystanders or people involved with the situation are able to capture that and share it with the rest of us. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. That's
Don,
awesome.
how are you doing this week, Don?
I'm doing great.
Nice.
Great.
A little
happy to be here.
Little tired today. I know you were
tired.
working overnight. I worked last night as well.
Yep.
So batteries are a little bit drained.
Yeah, that's all right. Plugging through.
We'll get through it. Going back to the holiday stuff, you guys do like last minute Christmas shopping, or are you like on the ball and prepared ahead of time?
Donnie?
It depends. Some years I think we're really good, and by this time we're like, oh, we got a couple things left to get for the kids, and then like this year I don't think we've done anything. So
yeah,
it depends.
Yeah. I have truth be told, I have an amazing wife, and I have never, ever since we've been married and had kids done Christmas shopping.
Not even for her?
Yes, but not in the past few years. We sort of have an agreement that, without getting too sort of on my high horse here, my view of presents and the Christmas season, I think, is a little bit different. So we used to buy gifts for each other. We do not anymore. We make sure the kids are well taken care of, and but I don't know where we're at with the shopping. I know boxes have been showing up at the house.
Santa will do his thing,
and yeah, it's Santa Claus will come through as he always does.
Yep.
How about you?
I've always been kind of a last minute person.
Yeah.
So it'll be Christmas Eve or earlier Christmas Day. I'll get the stuff I need.
Yeah, and be done with it.
Yep. I like to work under pressure. It's a little bit more
well,
exciting.
It goes with
that
the
way.
job you have too.
Yeah.
You're used to it.
Yep. I'll never go do that whole, Black Friday,
Yep.
Cyber Monday, is from home, so that's not a big deal. But the small
ridiculous.
business Saturday and all of that stuff, I don't want to go out. I don't want to fight the crowds. I don't want to stand in lines forever, but I don't mind going out at the last minute to get the stuff that I need, and it just saves me that much more time leading up to it.
I think so much of that.
I don't get distracted ahead of time
but
either.
I think so much of that stuff, too, has just become tradition for people.
Right.
Like, I guess if there's a brand new item out that you have to have that you think is going to be sold out, I get waiting in line at midnight.
Yeah, if you have young kids or stuff,
Yeah,
things
I
like
guess
that.
I guess I understand it. But yeah, so I don't know where we're at with the shopping. I trust, as I do every year, that it will go just well. And it has in the past. I have no reason to think otherwise.
Nice. Well, that's nice. No pressure. Like
None.
it's going to
Beautiful
happen.
thing.
Yeah.
it's
No pressure is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. My wife will hear this Wednesday and go, I think you need to start helping me with the
Maybe we should have her in next week.
Be careful what you wish for, man. Be careful what you wish for.
Oh, I think she'd be a great guest.
She would be awesome, but my list of responsibilities would significantly change at the house.
This is true. This is very true.
You would probably. Well, we don't have enough chairs, so I'm assuming you're gonna end up sharing with. You'll be sharing with Don, or you're gonna you're just gonna get out.
I'll get the night off.
Oh, that's funny. What about like you guys have anything that really brings you back? Like, what's a tradition that you've done since you were little? Is there anything that you've done, with your parents that you continue to do with your children, your families, or that you still do, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day? Just like, what is the Christmas thing for you guys?
Well, I think for us, since we've had kids, the kids have really rallied around the whole tree day, and we go to the store and we get junk food, and we put on the Christmas music, and we watch the movies that the kids choose, and just make it a real home day where we're doing Christmas stuff, and when that stuff's done, we're just spending time with the family. We shut the cell phones off, and we just hang out and be present with the kids, and so that's been, I think, the biggest tradition we've had since I've had kids. I have fond memories of growing up, but I was raised in a really old school family, and my parents sacrificed a ton for what we were able to have and what we had growing up. So there was never there wasn't dozens of gifts. It just wasn't that way. The focus was much more on presence than presence.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Being present, being together as a family.
Presence with a C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our faith had a lot to do with that as well. My parents really worked hard to balance the gifts and the fun time that kids should have on Christmas with what Christmas for us is all about, So
do you ever have to, either of you guys ever have to travel for the holidays? Have a family out of state or people coming in from out of state? Anybody got to fly in? No.
No. When I was a kid, we used to go to my aunt's house in Chicopee, and that was it.
It's funny because we traveled to Chicopee or West Springfield. My family is small, very small, and they've always been local. So never had to travel for any holiday.
Nice.
How about you?
Yeah, always been pretty local. The probably one of the big Christmas feel things for me is just going over to either my grandparents' house or an aunt or uncle's house for Christmas Eve. On my dad's side of the family, I always get together with the cousins and all the relatives over there, and it's always the 24 hours of a Christmas story leading up to Christmas Day. So you watch the second half of the movie, maybe like half a dozen times, never see the front half or vice versa, and you just playing catch up with it the whole time. Yeah. So just hanging out in the basement or in the living room with the family. And then a lot of the past 9 years or so, I've ended up working either on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. A lot of guys at the fire station have families, and I don't have young children or a significant other that I need to be home for, so it's nice to let those guys be home on Christmas morning or Christmas Eve night.
Absolutely.
And
I'm sure they're grateful for it as well.
Yeah, I really don't mind it. It's like a family there too, so you're around people you want to be around, you're having fun. A lot of the police officers will come and hang out with us. We get an unbelievable amount of pies and cakes and cookies and just platters and stuff get dropped off. Same with Thanksgiving. I mean, we just threw away a whole kitchen full of leftovers, stuff that we just couldn't finish. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, church groups,
everyday
the nursing homes. Yeah, everybody just
it's awesome.
Comes in.
They should.
We're inundated with stuff. It's tough. That's like my weakness, man. The Christmas cookies, like the fancy shapes and sizes and different colors, and every one of them tastes the same, but you got to try each one. Man, kills me. But that's all right. It's just one part of the year.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yep. and then I
Christmas
eat like
cookies.
that the rest of the year anyway, so it doesn't. I guess it doesn't really matter. Did you another thing in the news, John? I don't think you've seen this yet because we were talking a little bit about it earlier. There was a couple guys that, you know how Red Bull always has like their stunt people. You know, Red
Yeah.
Bull is always involved with some crazy stuff. So they had some sponsored athletes, and these guys are wingsuit jumpers. So Don, I don't know if you can pull up my screen right now, but these two guys jumped off of a mountain and flew into an airplane.
That's
For those of
incredible.
you at home who can't see this, look up maybe like wingsuit into airplane. You'll find it on YouTube.
We'll put
but-
a link in the description.
Yeah, we can put a link in the
Yep.
description for you, but people do some crazy stuff.
That is one of the coolest things I have ever
How
seen.
awesome is that?
I wouldn't even believe it if I wasn't watching it right now.
It was one of those things that I saw the clip, and
Now,
I
are
was-
those wingsuit guys in the event that they miss the plane? Are they parachute? Are
they have parachutes?
They do
yeah,
have parachutes.
yeah. So they wear a parachute, and they do a lot of like base jumping and things like that. They'll jump off of cliffs at national parks or these big monuments.
You
or
guys have
different.
to check this link out in the
It's
description.
super
That
cool.
is unbelievable.
But can you imagine? Like, hey Don, I got an idea. What we're gonna do is jump from this mountain. It's only like 14,000 feet. We're gonna fly at an airplane. They're gonna open the door and we'll just roll into it. Cool.
Yeah,
let's try
do
it. Let's just try it.
Yeah.
Like,
I
It'll be fine.
don't particularly love heights, so I'd be out of that. I don't mind flying in a plane, but I'm not crazy about heights.
No?
No.
like ladders and stuff. Like
I hate
ground-based heights. Not a fan of that.
I
huh?
hate them.
Oh, all right.
No, I no, don't like them.
What could go wrong, really?
Everything,
You know?
absolutely everything.
But like the first time you try,
I would
something
imagine
like
those
that-
guys are traveling towards that plane at a high rate of speed.
Oh yeah, got to be.
So if they don't end up in the hatchway of that plane, they're going to splat against the side of the plane.
yeah.
Or, I don't know, go through the propeller.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
don't.
Like, I
You definitely don't
know,
want to go past the front of the plane because that'll pretty much ruin your day. But yeah, on the video they have like these big chunks of foam and stuff and like pillows taped to the side of the plane to cushion the landing a little bit. But I mean, I like to do some crazy stuff, but man,
Yeah,
I
That's
don't know
nuts.
about that. That's a whole nother level.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, it just blows me away. I thought it was like a totally fake thing when I first saw it, and I've watched it a couple times. It just figured I should share that with you
Yeah, it's
today.
awesome, man.
Pretty cool thing. What else you guys got going? I know you just spoke to some athletes the other night.
I did. Yeah, I had a chance last night to speak to about 100 athletes and their parents, along with the assistant coach from University of Hartford baseball with Nick Ahmed, who was one of our guests a few weeks ago.
Yep.
The shortstop for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Pete Fatsy, the owner of AP. We did a program for all of our athletes and parents around expectations of the program, and then I was asked to speak on a little bit of the leadership piece and the work the kids put in the classroom to separate themselves in the recruiting process as student athletes. So it was a great night. We spoke for about an hour or so. I love being around motivated people. I love being around people that are striving to do more and try to challenge themselves, aren't afraid to fail. So it was a good night. Yeah, it was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Don, what else is new in your world? I know you've been really jamming lately, busy with a lot of different stuff.
Just trying to stay busy.
Yeah.
Just,
Donnie
I
Kavanaugh
enjoy being
is
busy.
single-handedly taking over the multimedia market in our area.
I'm not sure about that, but I'm giving it my best.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are. Doing
definitely
awesome.
putting an effort in. That's for sure.
Appreciate it.
I see stuff everywhere. All the videos that you're putting out, and again, can't say how much we appreciate you helping us out with the show. And
Glad to be here.
I did a little bit of a poll. I think it was last week on I believe my Instagram account where you can add the little poll, and
Yep.
most people seemed like they're trending towards watching the show. Maybe I don't know. Maybe if it's just because it's something new, or if that group that we ran the poll with just happens to be video people instead of podcast listeners. But yeah, it seems like people are really liking the video, getting a lot of good feedback about it. It's pretty neat.
That's awesome.
it's
Yeah.
good. I
We-
like doing it. everybody has, like you said, everybody has their own thing that they like to do, watching or listening. And
Yep.
I prefer to watch, but
Yeah.
See,
to each their own.
I don't know if I've watched a whole one of them yet. I've listened to a couple, but
You've lived it, Jason. You've lived it.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
I
in
don't
it.
need to. Yeah.
I have some
lived
folks
it.
that have reached out to me that they like listening to it to and from work. They stream it in their car or truck, and
Yep.
they enjoy that piece of it. So the message is definitely getting out there, and we're, as always, very grateful for our listeners, and for those that spread the word. We're grateful as well.
Yep.
So are we doing? I know we're keeping this one a little bit on the shorter side, but are we doing the word association tonight? Are we going to keep doing that, or did
I
you?
think we should do that.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to speak on before we do
Do you
that?
want to do that, or do you want to do that other thing that I texted you about?
You're gonna
What?
have to give me a second to remember this.
What?
Well, you can't text me now because my phone is the camera, but
In regards to the questions, asking the different questions.
oh yes, you're right. Well,
I was
you know
waiting.
what?
Why
I
was
think we
not
should.
why was I not included?
Hold on a second, John. I think that. Just kidding, buddy. No, I think was he a part of that thread? No,
he wasn't.
Probably
I,
it was
I
off.
purposely left him out because a lot of times he just doesn't add anything to the conversation.
That's a good point.
I like that, but I think we should save that for guests.
Okay.
I think I like the
That's
I like
great.
the word
Now, why don't you
association
guys tell
thing.
me what it is so that I'm in the loop.
Without giving it away,
Oh, jeez, forget it. Let's just do the word association.
essentially it's asking guests a question that isn't run of the mill.
Right.
I love
It's
it.
not a difficult one, but it really makes you think.
Yeah.
And I think
We can't do it over and over. That's the problem. Is that
Well,
if we
let's
did
try
it,
it. Let's try it right now and see how it goes. We don't have to do it every week. We could still do the word association, but let's try it.
all right.
And I even though you guys didn't give me a chance to prepare, I'm fairly
That's all right. I had a chance and I still didn't prepare for it. I thought it was
course.
going to be a guest thing. So
So good.
Um,
Level playing field.
yeah, let's do it.
all right. We're kind of stealing these.
That's all right.
That's all right.
We'll adapt our own when we get to the
Or maybe
Who
they're
you
stealing
asking
them
this
from
question
us.
of?
I'll ask Jason.
All right. Good.
You ready?
Ready.
If you could have a gigantic billboard anywhere in the world, where would you put it and what would it say?
That is a good question.
Like, easy.
I would. Oh man, gigantic billboard.
Anywhere in the world. Anywhere.
Anywhere.
What message do you want to send to people in a specific location?
I would. so this is the first thing that comes to mind, and I don't know if this is the kind of answer it's supposed to be, but I would put it in Spain. I would put up a big billboard in Spain for the running of the bulls that said "Run faster." That would be mine. Or look out behind you.
You know what, maybe that wasn't the best question to...
Yeah, it wasn't the best one to ask him, obviously.
I don't know. That was the first thing that popped in my head. Like, what would be a really valuable message for someone to see at just the right time? I think that would be mine.
Got another one for me?
I do. You ready?
Sure. Unfazed.
So, I think this one is perfect for John.
Uh-oh.
I think you're going to provide a lot of insight. Ready?
Yes, sir.
How has a failure or apparent failure set you up for later success?
Great question.
That is a great question.
I think it's applicable to every new adventure we try in our life. I wouldn't say that we are successful podcasters yet. I wouldn't say I'm a successful speaker at the level that I want to be. I think every time we embrace new challenges that we're passionate about, the likelihood of failure is much greater than the likelihood of success, especially early on. And I think if you talk to the most significant people or the greatest at their given field, they will tell you that one of the biggest suggestions they would give to anybody getting started in any field that they're trying to get into is you have to embrace failure, because most people are really, really close to the finish line when they decide to quit. And so one of the things that I've really tried to adopt, especially over the last couple of years, as I've taken on new challenges that might be outside my comfort zone or outside my wheelhouse, is that I do not fear failure. It's an expectation. And it is the greatest, I think, one of the greatest learning tools that we can ever embrace. If you are not failing, you're not growing. And that's applicable to your work, your family, your lifestyle, if it's training, whatever it is you choose to do. Expect that if you go all in and you're willing to take chances, you're going to fall on your face at times. So,
and probably a lot.
And yes,
absolutely,
yes.
The more chances you take, the more you're gonna fail. But you know what? You're gonna learn that many more lessons.
Yeah, and if
you're
you
gonna
don't
have
embrace
that
it,
much thicker skin.
and if you don't embrace it, if you don't say, "Man, we did a shitty job on that episode.
Yep.
We need to take another half hour and redo it."
Yep.
Because we failed ourselves, but we failed all the people that might listen.
Yep.
So we did a terrible job. Let's re-record the whole thing.
Which may or may not have happened last week.
Yeah. which could have, that example could have been drawn from reality.
That might be from real life. But actually, you know what? That episode, sorry to cut you off right there. That episode that we may or may not have re-recorded last week, we got a ton of great feedback. I'm glad we re-recorded it.
Yeah.
But
Because
that's
you
the
know
point.
what?
That's exactly
Yeah.
the point, is that most people would have been content to say, whatever, man, it's
Yeah.
late. We've all had long days. Just air the thing.
Cut it short.
Donnie's
we'll put it out
good.
there.
He'll
But
cut
no,
it
it
up.
wasn't. It wasn't good enough.
It wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
We failed.
Yep.
So let's redo it.
But we got good feedback. We learned a valuable lesson
Yep.
from that, and it's not going to happen again. So
I think this was great. I think the takeaway for me for this little piece that I would want to share with you guys is ask yourself tough questions. And it doesn't matter where they come from,
Yeah.
right? So don't be afraid every day to ask yourself tough questions that you might not want to hear the answer to, because that's how we grow. That's how we learn, and that's how we grow.
Don, do you have a question that we could ask you?
No.
All right.
Good.
So we'll just give.
Yeah.
I have an idea. Why don't you give John? John, you give Don a word,
Okay?
and then I've got a question for you. So do you want me to ask the question of you while you're looking for a word?
No, I
Or
don't
do
need
you-
to look for a word.
All
I'm
right.
good.
So
So
Don,
wait
you're
a
up.
second. What's going on here?
Because you don't have a question to be
So
asked.
I get a word?
Yeah, you get the word, and then because we answered the questions, we'll forego the word this week. We'll
Okay.
bring that back
Sounds
next
good.
week.
Go.
Donnie, the word for this week. Look at him.
Always excited to hear your word.
I know you are.
Yep. Go. Send it.
Ready?
Send it.
Beer. The word for the week is beer.
Well, that's a difficult question for me.
And Don's heart
actually,
grew 3 sizes that day.
You know that I am a big fan of microbrews.
Connoisseur.
craft beer.
I'd say connoisseur.
Connoisseur.
Yep.
Yep.
So, for me, drinking beer is like some people drink coffee.
Not, he doesn't
You know how
mean
bad that sounds? I had about 6 cups today.
he doesn't mean that as in
Yes,
he
he
wakes
does.
up and drinks a beer in the morning.
Actually,
This
he
is true.
might.
This is true.
Let's put that disclaimer out there.
No, you have some people who enjoy.
Yeah, different coffees,
yeah.
different
Oh, that's how you
varieties,
meant
different
it.
blends. No, I don't. I
Yeah,
don't think
John.
he specifically meant that he wakes up and that's the best part of waking up for Don.
However, there are some people that do that.
Right. Well, there's some people who
To
work
each their own.
overnight and the morning is their, nighttime.
Very true.
But no, that's a good one. So
What's your favorite, Donnie?
Yeah,
The
what's
best
your
one you've
favorite?
ever had. If you had to, do you have like a top one that you've ever had, or there's?
well, first off, do you have a favorite brewer? And then, do you have a favorite beer? Because you might like a brewer overall better than.
No, I'm not partial to anything. If it tastes good, I like it.
yeah,
My favorite all time,
yeah.
left hand milk stout. 100%
Where's it made? Do you know? Do you remember or no?
in a brewery. I don't know.
Well, left-hand brewery. Is that local?
No.
Kind of local? No.
I'm
Good
not
stuff.
sure where they are.
So we are not asking you a question today. Is that correct, or we are?
Well, I think we had the questions already, but I think we're
I
going
mean,
to skip the. I think we'll skip the
Okay.
words. But I have a question for you.
Yeah, man.
Because I know you had kind of a rough day today, kind of a crummy day.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, how are you going to turn that around? What's the thing that's going to bring you out of it? I know that seeing Don and I probably cheered you up and made you feel really nice.
Seeing Don always cheers me up.
Yeah, and
He's-
and seeing me.
No,
and,
seeing Don is awesome.
Don is awesome.
It's a fair question. Nobody is responsible for changing my attitude but me.
Yep.
And that's, I think, a big problem that people run into all the time. Having a chance to spend time with good people and talk about things that are uplifting and positive always help. But sometimes it's just time. But the important thing for me to remember is that, you know what? I was blessed with another day. Some people weren't. The day was bad, but in comparison to what? And ultimately, it's my responsibility to work past it in the most positive way that I can. So just another day, and we get past it and move forward and get better because of it. That's all.
Good. I didn't know if you had a go-to, like, you got to hit the gym after a bad day, or you got to,
working out always helps. But also sometimes it's just time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But one of the things I won't do is blame other factors or other things. Like it's mine to own and mine alone, and figure out a way to work through it.
Yep.
And that's that.
I like it.
Good one. Good discussion.
Great
Yeah.
discussion.
Hope everybody gears up for their holiday season. I hope you all take the time to enjoy family and friends and focus much more on being present than buying presents, because that's what this season is all about. So hopefully you join us next week, as always.
We'll be back next week.
Hell
Next
yeah.
Wednesday, we'll be here again. We'll be here every Wednesday. If you guys have the opportunity to donate a toy or anything like that, I know there's lots of places out there that are looking to help children in need, and
No doubt.
if you can give somebody your time, which is even more valuable, do that.
Yep.
But
It's a great suggestion. As always, guys, be good to those you love. Let them know you love them, and we appreciate your support.
take care, guys.
See ya.
Thanks so much for listening to the Hashtag Positivity Podcast. Online at hashtagpositivity.org, on Facebook at Hashtag Positivity, and Instagram, the official Hashtag Positivity. If you liked the episode, please rate and review. And remember, positivity is contagious. Sprinkle